Welcome back to the Chill Mom Boss Show. I'm your host, Michelle Hon, and today I'd like to explore the future of your business journey. And together, we will uncover the pivotal steps you need to take in order to move from your current success as an entrepreneur, albeit a stagnant one, to being a truly transformative leader, to become an in-demand entrepreneur. And first, I need to differentiate the 4 types of entrepreneurs. Number 1, you have your amateur entrepreneur who love what they do but aren't yet getting paid for it. Number 2, you have struggling entrepreneurs who work long hours and they often need lots of clients or customers just to make ends meet. And number 3, you have stagnant entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs are in this stage and they may get new customers or clients one conversation at a time. And over time, they produce a word of mouth business. They're making some money with some good months and some pretty bad months. And the business potential is limited. And then there are in-demand entrepreneurs. These are thought leaders. They are a magnet to their dream clients. They can command fees and able to price their offers above the range of most of their competitors in the industry. They have a wide audience and a vibrant community, and they are also known by experts in other fields. They can take extended vacations and they can make money while they sleep. And I've spent the past 5 years helping thousands of women starting businesses and become in demand in their industry. And I'm going to teach you how to move beyond stagnant to become truly influential. But first, I need to distinguish between 2 words, influencer and influential. An influencer is someone who uses social media to command attention. And an influencer might have a lot of followers, but they're not necessarily making a big impact or making a lot of money, because likes and views won't pay your bills. In fact, the average payment or what they get paid per post if you have under 10,000 followers is less than $100. And if you have between 50,000 to 75,000, if you're not an in-demand person, you're still only making about $200 per post. And everyone and their mother call themselves an influencer these days. In fact, the Wall Street Journal reports 50 million people identify themselves as content creator, with fewer than 100 accounts generating enough income to support themselves for more than 5 years. An in-demand entrepreneur, on the other hand, is one of the most highly valued and highly paid people in the industry. They're seen as experts, their opinions and insights are valued and sought after, and they can command extraordinary fees. And when you're seen as an expert, clients knock on your door. When your opinions and insights are valued and sought after, you make a big impact inside and outside your field. When you're in high demand, you have more people wanting to work with you than you are able to take on. And therefore, you can increase your price and people would still say yes. It's really just a matter of supply and demand. And storytelling is the number 1 superpower of an in-demand entrepreneur. And that's why I teach that in our program, storytelling. And one of the most important things you can do is become a better storyteller. Because when you tell stories, you stir people's senses. You draw them in and you make them want to listen. And the best stories are the ones that are raw and unfiltered. There are stories that show your flaws and your struggles as well as your successes. And when you do that, you command people's attention. And when you tell their story, they'll love you forever. So the number 1 thing that I want to talk about is to just tell stories, gather stories that command attention and generate curiosity. It doesn't even have to be your own. You can literally read it from a book as long as it draws people in. And if you want to get good at storytelling, simply start by collecting stories and begin telling stories. Create a story bank. And every day, before you go to sleep, make a note of something interesting that you saw or heard or experienced. And stories can be shorter and smaller than you think. Here's an example of a small story. Last week, a client of mine told me that she was exhausted. She has lost confidence. I then asked her how much money she made so far this year. And she told me that she made $360,000. And I asked him if she had considered just take the rest of the years off. And it just really blew her mind because entrepreneurs rarely consider setting an upper limit for themselves. And now that's just a small story that I just tell you, and I deliberately didn't spend time making it sound better. I basically just wrote it down at the time because I know it would be interesting to my community at some point. Number 2 is just simply tell your story. An influencer posts selfies on social media projecting a future that they wish they have. And an in-demand entrepreneurs share stories that they're proud of, stories that they're embarrassed by, and stories about the difference that they have made. And that's much more attractive than a selfie anytime. Just lay out your raw and unfiltered story, share your struggles, and because struggles draw people in. Share your successes. It's really not about bragging if you've done it, and your successes are attractive to your people. You can also share your unique value. And as a founder and CEO of your business, your unique value is often the value your business possesses or stand for. Just put humility to one side. What can you and your products do that no one else on the planet can do? Because most entrepreneurs hold back on telling people about themselves and the business because they don't want to brag. And they say things like, I'm not into self-promotion. But sharing stories isn't self-promotion. As you tell your raw and unfiltered stories, you learn more about yourself. And people get to learn more about you. And people get curious to want to know more. And when you share your struggles and lay all bare, you become more confident. And that's highly attractive. And when you trust yourself, others trust you and your business. And I've shared openly for years about my struggles with parenting, being a woman in the business world and coaching. I've been open about my struggles with imposter syndrome, how I failed and lost tons of money, taking leaps into the unknown with my businesses. Does me being this real turn you off? Or does it help you trust me slightly more? When you share your stories, people get to know you. When they know you, they begin to like you. And when they begin to like you, they begin to trust you. And when people know, like, and trust you, they feel safe. And when they feel safe, that's when they're happy to do business with you. Number 3, tell your clients stories. Your clients are superheroes and they often don't see it themselves or they don't even know it. And tell the world how amazing they are. Brag for them. Write down their stories and share them with others. Video their stories. Record their stories for a podcast. Do whatever it takes to give your client's story the platform they deserve. It may be scary, but you can do it scared. In the book, Get Naked, a business fable about shedding the 3 fears that sabotage client loyalty, Patrick Lencioni describes the 3 primary fears that coaches or business owners often encounter. Number 1, fear of losing business. We avoid difficult situations where we feel vulnerable. Number 2, fear of being embarrassed. We hold back from asking questions or making suggestions that could expose our lack of knowledge or understanding. Number 3, fear of feeling inferior. We try to avoid situations where we might be viewed as unimportant or unable to influence the outcome. But becoming an in-demand entrepreneur is really not for everyone. It requires courage. The courage to be seen as cringy, the courage to risk being embarrassed, and the courage to speak out even when you feel less than influential. Becoming an in-demand entrepreneur is not about seeking fame, but about being the figure who shakes up your industry, the person others aspire to be, and the person your customers are drawn to. So what are you waiting for? Start telling your stories today. And that's it. That's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoy that. And if you do, leave a review, share it with your fellow women entrepreneurs or just women in general. I hope that this inspired you and would continue to inspire many more. Thank you. I'll see you again in our future episode. Remember, you've got this.